So, do you remember when I compared the Salem 7 to ring rates?
Yeah.
They just are ring rates.
Yeah.
Literally autonomous, non-feeling entity of thing going after thing.
And I mean, it's fine. We're probably gonna see them again.
Yeah, and now we've known that it's Agatha's old coven that she killed.
That actually makes a lot more sense than whatever we originally thought it was.
I don't know what I originally thought it was. I'm going to be perfectly honest. Um. Yeah. Or no, sorry. It's her old coven's kids. I said it
Yeah.
incorrectly.
There we go.
And because she said she should have finished the never leave a job unfinished or whatever. But I do like this episode, but I'm gonna be honest, and it's something that I'm noticing with most of the episodes that I like outside of the one where Mrs. Ford died. They kind of just happen.
This
The
one, this one's weird because they packed a lot into what is, I think, the shortest runtime of the episode so far.
Yeah. And the main thing we got out of it was her kid's name and the confirmation of the worst kept secret of the entire show.
I think that's the only reason why this episode wasn't like a huge like, oh my god, best of the series, because we knew this was going to happen like weeks ago. When
Yeah.
did those Funko Pops drop?
I'm going to be really honest with you. If that Funko Pop didn't come out, I'm still not being blown away by this revelation.
Fair enough.
But that Funko Pop was day one. But I'm really honest with you. You don't get a kid that looks exactly like, outside of the hairstyle being slightly different of what the comic book version of Wiccan looks like. Have him wear a lot of clothes that Wiccan would wear, and then not have it be Wiccan. Like, we still don't have him be called Wiccan, but if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and is colored like a duck, it's
Then
typically a duck. So, like I said, I did like this episode. It felt like they mashed together Stranger Things, Friday the 13th, and The Evil Dead all into an episode.
and Ouija.
I don't consider Ouija to be a thing. Ouija is just a thing you have in horror movies.
Fair.
So,
and only the prequel is really good anyway.
Yeah. So this is what I weird about it kind of just happening. They jammed a lot into here to kind of just move the plot along. We literally just lost a person and learned what Agatha's son's name was. The other ones where they went through trials, it felt like it was a trial of the person going through the thing. This was Agatha's trial, death, son's name, gone. It felt like it had a theme and then had to fit Agatha's trial into it.
Kind of like they were working backwards to fit the trial in.
That like I said, I'm still enjoying the show, but that feels how this show was written. It feels like it was written backwards.
Now I'm kind of curious, like what the rest of the series is going to be like, because I don't know. This reminds me a lot of WandaVision. How the first 4 episodes kind of had a particular rhythm, and then the more we learn about what's going on in Westview, the structure kind of evaporated.
Yeah, and then it kind of got it as it went on. But the difference with WandaVision was 9 episodes, right? Am I wrong?
Yep, it was 9.
How many is this one?
Also 9.
Oh, this one's also 9? Okay. Part of me thought we weren't getting 9 with this. Okay, so that fits well because we've been on a streak of getting like 6s. But I kind of hope that this hits a structure point pretty freaking quick in the next 2 episodes. Because again, it feels like it's all just kind of like, what do you guys want to do this week? I'm like, I don't know, Friday the 13th, Evil Dead. I'm like, okay, I guess we can do that. Because the trial was realistically 5 minutes of this episode.
Yeah.
And then we reveal that Wiccan is there and he doesn't like anybody. So the thing I'm wondering about the powers here, because like having Agatha's mom come back and talk and that was kind of a cool thing. Now we get this Wiccan reveal. He couldn't say his name. He lost his spell book when they were on the brooms, so he still can't say his name. He still doesn't know who he is, but because Agatha said that he's like his mom, who he doesn't know who that is, he now has access to using his powers.
It's almost like whatever Agatha said like was a trigger that awoke that woke up his powers. I have no idea if that's true. That's just what
I don't know
inferring.
If that's true either. That could have happened, but if that was something she meant to happen, if we're somehow gonna get at the point that like he knows that she's his mom, and then Agatha woke up those powers on purpose, if we're going with on purpose, it's the dumbest thing she's ever done because she would know this kid would want to gank her on sight.
Oh, of course.
And then he did, essentially. Or she went out of her way to say, you're like your mom, something she would know, and the consensus of he has memories buried away that could wake up that part of her, and then he remembered that, and then he ganked her on sight.
I think both are honestly like very possible.
They are both very possible. Both, in my opinion, could have been the dumbest thing Agatha could have done ever. Because whether she did it on accident to help him remember and she knows who he is, or whether she did it on purpose to get him to know who he is, that would be something she wouldn't want if she's trying to get to the end without this kid killing her.
Sounds like she's not really thinking things through.
I don't know at all what's going on. I'm going to be really honest. And that goes back to the we wrote the show backwards thing. And the things are kind of just happening. I know you're enjoying this more than I am, and I'm not saying that I'm not enjoying it. I believe I've said this in earlier reviews, and I'm going to quote Two Best Friends again. It feels like we're watching the show. No, they're filming the show as we watch it.
You're not wrong, but I think I just happen to enjoy that structure more than. Okay, I'll say this. I don't like the show more than The Penguin, which I need to catch up on episode 3. But that show is people are saying that they are experiencing superhero fatigue. Shows like Penguin are the cure for that.
Yeah, it's who was it that he talked to someone? I can't remember who it was. It was a person who was in Marvel recently, but you don't have superhero fatigue because as soon as something good comes out, you're happy.
Exactly.
You're tired of bad things.
Yeah,
because you never say that.
Mediocrity.
People don't like mediocrity. People don't say they're tired of spy thrillers with a lot of shooting. You're happy when you have a good one. The problem is the consistency's been better.
Yep.
You've been having John Wick, Mission Impossible, 007. You don't have a whole lot of factors that miss ever. Atomic Blonde. Even Red Sparrow was pretty good. You're not getting misses. That's why you're not saying fatigue with spy thrillers. And don't say you're not getting a lot of them, because you are.
See, same thing with horror. Like every year, there's like at least 100, give or take, of all different types of horror movies. One is even gonna be the #1 movie at the box office this weekend.
Yeah, which is speaking to you like good comic book properties and not bad ones. It's a direct correlation of why Terrifier is going to outperform the Joker sequel in its second weekend. And it's not because Terrifier's raking in a $300 million weekend either. What did that report say? That its drop was like was 90%. It's going to bring in like just over 2 million.
Well, that's just Friday to Friday, which is still
not disproving my point.
No. Yeah, no, you're right.
That's unreal. People need to stop saying they have fatigue towards something. You don't have fatigue towards something if it's good. Here, I'm going to bring up a really good point. I'm telling you right now, my favorite place to go out to eat outside of Five Guys is Texas Roadhouse. Why? Because I can have a 23-ounce steak. It's wonderful. It's filling. And every time I go home, I leave happy. If I ate that steak every Friday, and I'm going to tell you this because there was a period where me and all my friends in high school got out of high school and got good paying jobs when the economy was good. And every single paycheck Friday, we went to Texas Roadhouse. I kid you not, Mike, for a year and a half.
Wow.
That was our tradition. And that was stopped when some of us started having kids and it branched off. That's the only thing that made it stop. Do you know why I never got sick of having that steak at Texas Roadhouse every paycheck Friday? Because it was fucking delicious.
You know what? I drive by my Texas Roadhouse like every so often. That parking lot is always full. Like,
yeah,
even on a Monday.
On a Monday. Do you know why those people keep going back every time we keep that place full? Because it's good. This is why this analogy of we have fatigue for blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no. If it was good every time, you wouldn't have fatigue. There's a reason why when you have a shit ton of something and like 60% of it's good, you get hesitant towards the other stuff. That's how your tastes work. If I went to that Texas Roadhouse and half of the time I got food poisoning, I'd be a little reluctant to go back to the Roadhouse. That's what people don't get. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not. It's not fatigue. It's you don't like something. I never understand this. They'll be like, oh man, it's bad. And then you'll get an $800 million run in a theater when something's good. I'm like, oh, it's almost like you only like the things you like. And then when you don't like something, that's fatigue. I'm not saying there's fatigue with this show just because I don't like it. It's breaking viewership records on Disney Plus,
which is a good thing.
Yeah, that's not showing fatigue, people. Me, who likes most of the shows that Marvel does that other people say is literal piss gargled and shit and shoved in your mouth, I'm not saying it's fatigue. I'm still watching it. But guess what? That's called difference of opinion, which isn't allowed to fucking happen anymore because it's either given to you by a platter by God or shit into your hand. In your opinions.
There's no room for the middle ground anymore.
There can't be. In anything. And it drives me fucking nuts. Because now we're getting to a point where and this was with Deadpool when it came out, everyone thought the movie was going to fail because it got an 84% on Rotten Tomatoes and it wasn't a 90. I saw people actively bitching that the movie wasn't considered good on release because it got an 84!
Guys, what are we doing here?
You know what's honestly happening, though? This is happening all over the place. I don't mean to get political. I'm going to do it for 2 seconds. They're literally changing the grading scale in schools to where you can pass with a fucking D.
What?
Where, like, a D is what you're getting for a fucking B. You want a gross wake up for how shit's going? Go look at the grading scale in both schools now. It's not A90, B 80B, 70C. It's, you can pretty much get down to about a 40 and get a D and you'll still pass. That's how I feel is the opposite of this. If it's not a 95, you failed. How scary is that to what our kids' education standards are is that much different to how we care about the fucking media we watch.
That is pretty alarming.
That's terrifying, but yet no one cares.
So getting back to the episode, one thing
Yes.
that is kind of interesting is Aubrey Plaza's character in this.
Seems like she's schizophrenic.
Yeah, or she has an agenda well beyond the Salem 7 and Agatha's mom. Like she has vested interest in Agatha's survival ?
Whatever she needs to do, she needs Agatha because she was okay to carve her up as long as she survived. As soon as someone was going to take Agatha, she said no.
It's kind of like that classic, no, you can't kill her, only I can.
Only I can, yes. But no, it's one of those where I'm okay to torture her, but you can't kill her. Because everyone thinks that Agatha's playing you. Realistically, I am. I think that's what's going to happen at the very end. Where it's going to be Death who's the one that's been put... Sorry, spoiler alert for everyone who's watching! When I say Death, I'm talking about Aubrey Plaza's character. I'm not calling her Rio. I'm calling her Death because that's who she is.
That's another thing. Because on the Ouija board, they spelled Death, and the first thing that came to my mind was, wait, is this how they're going to reveal her?
I'm like, that's gotten to the point of where they're like, this is going to be the thing that everyone goes back to, where they're like, oh, they teased this way before and we didn't know it, except that fucking bunko came out, so you can't say that. Because this is going to be that it's revealed in episode 6, but if we would have paid, or it's revealed in episode 9, but if we would have paid attention in episode 5, they told us then, but we basically already know that. And it's not the show's fault.
No, of course not. But that's kind of the frustrating thing about like ancillary media, like toys and other merchandise, because those things are on like a rigid schedule. That's why there are Happy Meal toys for Captain America 4 well before the movie came out.
Well, go ahead.
Because the movie has been delayed a couple times, but like McDonald's is like, nope, we're putting these toys out now because that's when we said we're going to do it.
There is that, but there's also the fact of there was toys that had spoilers for stuff back when we were kids, but you didn't know about it if you didn't go to the McDonald's and get the toy.
Oh,
I would say the ancillary schedule is partially there, but that's always been there. The problem is we have social media that one person finds out something that the whole world needs to know. And then that ruins the process of how the show runs.
Yeah. Social media and the whole concept of the 24-hour news cycle has it's sped up the process of people finding out even like the tiniest details.
Yeah. They used to have like random forums on the internet that you had to basically sacrifice a virgin to like find and get access to. And now you don't have to do that. Like the movie 7 would have been ruined.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked more movies haven't. And like we're talking about with past superhero movies, it's a damn miracle that we didn't know. Sorry to everyone who hasn't seen Deadpool and Wolverine at this point, that Chris Evans was going to be the Human Torch.
Like it's something we all kind of joked about, but the fact that it was never like officially leaked is impressive.
And you know why it was? They talked about this. They filmed it. It was either they filmed it directly when they came back from COVID or when they were just about to go into there for COVID. So all the paparazzi had left the day before.
Oh.
That's why all those shots are there from all those scenes except for that one, because the paparazzi was off by a day. That's the only reason we didn't know.
Still, that is quite impressive.
Yeah, there was an interview with Ryan Reynolds that I saw about that. I'm like, good Lord, if that would have got ruined, I would have been irate. But yeah, I am enjoying this. I will not say that I'm not. It needs to, they're trying to fit, here's one problem with this. They're trying to fit a lot of the Halloween-y shit into here as much as possible. I feel like they knew they were going to release this around Halloween. That was one of the few things they knew for sure, because it's Agatha, and they just wanted to have something around Halloween, and they knew it was going to. Probably just pick that as it, because it's not really a thing that's going to affect lore of anything outstanding around it.
This episode, out of everything, felt the most like I felt that like cool fall air just watching this episode.
Yeah. So I feel like they kind of, part of what's hurting it is they're trying to fit 16 pounds of Halloween into a 4-pound bag and then also have the plot happen. That is part of why I think it feels like stuff just happens in episodes, to where this witch's robe was a cool way to fit a lot of stuff like that in. And now I think that we might hit more of an actual plot going on now, since a good chunk of the cast is dead. We have Wiccan, Agatha, and 2 witches left. And you're not going to have a whole lot of, I want to go through a trial with you. You just tried drowning me in a tar pit. I think we might have the actual plot now. Sorry, we have 2 witches, Agatha, Wiccan, and Death in the show. So it's going to start showing that I feel that Death is trying to get them places, and it's going to end up being them versus Death to see who gets to wherever they need to go. And then it's going to be Agatha's choice of whatever she wants to do at the end when she gets what she needs, whatever that is.
Now here's the question, and we've been kind of back and forth on this. Do you think Agatha is going to be redeemed in this series, whatever that means?
Here's how I'm going to posit this statement. Does she need to? No. I'm getting that out right away. Now, I don't know how to feel on it, because you're getting what felt like Wiccan bitching her out saying you did it on purpose, and what felt like an honest, no, I actually didn't mean that. Which then is railroaded over by, no, she's evil. We want power too. That's how it works. And then you just go on with your day. So I don't even know what to tell you if the show makes you want to think she wants redemption or not.
Because it sounds like she doesn't even know if she wants redemption.
Because she's being nice to get to where she wants to go, but then she's also manipulating people to not be nice to get to where she wants to go. All I know is that she wants to get to the end, whether that means she's a good person or not. And then the plot will tell you otherwise at the end. Because if we fully have this kid be called Wiccan, and his name is Billy whatever, my God, if his name's not Maximoff, everyone calm the shit down. I get it. You're more about the fact that he's not Jewish. I don't think this kid's ever said what his religion is, so we haven't heard that he's not. There hasn't been a situation where he has to go, by the way, don't do that, I'm Jewish. Let's not be like that when we don't know details. And if the kid's name's Billy Kaplan, he could be at the end going, wait, that was a marriage whatever name, when he's literally possibly a concocted, imaginative thing of Wanda. That's what her first kids were. They were a literal thing she made in her head.
Yeah, I'm just looking up Wikipedia, and I don't think at any point Wiccan was like referred to as Billy Maximoff. His name has always been Billy.
It's always been Billy Kaplan. Okay, cool. So the internet's freaking out for even more of a stupid reason. Okay. Anyway, but yeah, let's get to the end. If she's evil, Wiccan takes care of her. I'm okay with that. If she's evil, Death takes care of her. I'm okay with that. If she becomes good, I don't know what it adds because I've looked up more into her. She was good in the comics. She actually helped mentor Wanda. We don't have that here. I don't know if they're going to say you can mentor Wiccan even though you try to steal the magic away from his mother and wish she was dead 1,000 times over. That really doesn't work in my brain. You could say that I had a change of heart and I should have done it to your mother. That's going to take more than 4 episodes to kind of work, in my opinion. And then you have the whole death factor that's there. Are we going to work together? And then she sacrifices herself in a last minute thing to say, I fucked up. I shouldn't have been horrible to your mom. She was just going through something. I don't know. I feel like we shouldn't have gotten just a 1 episode spin if we're going to, or 1 series spin if we're going to get her redemption, with 70% of the, or I should say 90% of the plot is showing that she's manipulative. I don't actively know a course correct or an actual direction in my brain where they want her to be at the end of this show other than at the end of the road.
Okay, so we have 4 episodes left. If, and that's a big if they want to redeem Agatha, they gotta pick up the pace and actually get some redemption done. Otherwise,
go ahead.
Otherwise, I'm kind of okay with this show ending with Death is like the main antagonist. She actually does some harm to Agatha. Because remember, this is only, as far as I know, this is just a mini series. It's not like it's getting a season 2.
No, I thought it was a mini series as well.
And I'm pretty sure the end result is Wiccan is going to join what has been teased to be the Young Avengers for like pretty much half a decade.
Exactly. And I kind of feel it's that way too. Like, if they want to redeem her, which again, I don't think they need to, she was the perfect one-time thing villain for WandaVision. She was perfect for that. And her thing of, I only get magic by people using it on me, cool. Thor will chop her head off. That's not absorbing magic. That's you dying. She's kind of got everyone, she absorbs magic if you shoot it at her. Cool. Everyone with a melee weapon, go kill her. Like, what are we doing here? But if you're going to redeem her, there needs to be no plot other than that for the remainder of the show. There needs to be none of this. We're going to have a cool, fun romp through a holiday thing that looks like a horror Halloween movie for blah, 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 blah. No, it needs to be just that, because otherwise I'm not going to give a shit. You do not have enough time left to do-si-do with this. You don't. You need to pick a lane and go after whatever it is. And I'm going to be honest with you at this point. It needs to be Agatha going away and Wiccan becoming the big thing at the end of this. Because he's the only one that, honestly, other than Death, who I don't care what they do with her at the end of this, they just need to assume or just show that she's going to be something, honest to God, big going forward, or she just isn't a thing after this. There needs to be one of the two. Wiccan makes it out of this. That's it.
Kind of like how we got what's Monica Rambeau's hero name?
Photon.
Kind of like how we got Photon out of WandaVision.
Yeah.
We're getting Wiccan out of Agatha all along.
Yes. And now, everyone who I've made the comments about how it was really dumb to just describe the show as the gayest thing ever because a sexual orientation does not make a show good or not. Everyone who's complaining that Billy's gay, if he is, I'm sorry. If you want that character to be Wiccan, you might want to brush up on your comic books.
This.
Because guess what? You're not going to like the character if you don't like him being gay. Because that's who he is. There's rumors of the Hulkling coming around. Guess what?
Yep.
If you want one of the two options, you're canceling it out by not wanting the other, because that's who the character is. Sorry. Agatha and Rio can be a different thing you complain about. That's all on you, because as far as I'm concerned, that's a brand new thing. But this you can't be upset about, because guess what? Then you're saying you don't want the character.
Yep.
That's part of who he is. Sorry. That's like saying, yeah, I want Tony Stark, but man, I just don't want him to be straight. Okay, so let's just kick Pepper to the curb. Let's get rid of Morgan. All the womanizing and flirting that he did in the first movie, so we can't have any of that. This is one of the times where that's just kind of who the character is. And they don't need to have it on screen at all times, but guess what? He's probably going to be hanging around Hulkling if he gets cast a whole lot.
Yep.
Are they going to be bumping uglies on screen? No, probably not. But because you're going to have to deal with some...
This is a Disney show.
This is a Disney show, or even a movie. Guess what? You're going to have to deal with some extreme hand-holding possibly at some point, and maybe a kiss. You're going to have to be okay. I know you might explode, but you're going to have to be okay with it. Sorry. It's probably going to happen. We're getting to that point where we've gone through almost every straight superhero. There's going to be some that have some different orientations. It's just how it's going to happen.
Yep.
But yeah, going on, just please God, pick a plot. That's all I'm asking. Pick a plot. Please God.
4 more episodes, guys. You can do it.
Yes, you got this. Just tighten it up. Please. Because that's what's going to make or break the show. If it just gets to the end and we feel like literally nothing happened, and I mean literally nothing happened. Like WandaVision was a thing that stuff just happened throughout it, but it fit. And you got a result at the end. Scarlet Witch had the Darkhold, and then she went on to get corrupted by it. And then you got Agatha off this, and you got White Vision, who is going to be part of another thing. You got freaking Photon. You got 16, you got 10 things going off that show, but it was able to be wild, wacky, and kooky the whole way through. Just, you can do this. Shore your shit up. All right. Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and that place at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us here on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Absolutely. And you can find me ever at Organoid Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube. I will be finishing up Alan Wake and one more stream, unless there's DLC, which I don't think there's any big DLCs. And then I will be going on to pretty much Life is Strange for the rest of the month, and then alternating between Until Dawn and the Horizon remake. So yeah, looking forward to that. All right, everyone, until next time, we'll see you all later. Bye.